Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hello to you and welcome to Chronically Well Club Radio. I'm your host, Rebecca Naylor. I am a health coach celebrating 20 years living with MS in remission. Woohoo! Pretty excited about that. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to host this show with the MS Global Support Network so that I can help you and serve you, my community. This is my real passion right now in my life. I've been asked so many times, how did you do it? And Chronically Well Club is my answer to that. I really want to help other people understand that there is so much, just so much that is within your power to control when it comes to your health and specifically managing this experience of multiple sclerosis. So yeah, let's get to that. So a little bit about Chronically Well Club. My tagline is discover your power to heal. And I sincerely believe that we all have inside our bodies an innate power to heal if we just get out of our own way and start to recognize all the things that we're able to do through lifestyle medicine and functional medicine. And when we become aware of these things, we're really able to recreate our lives. We can manifest anything: health, abundance, prosperity, love, you name it. There's so much that you can do. So as I was coming up with my answer to that question, how did you do it? I've come up with something that I call the 9 keys of healing, because really this is a multifaceted approach. There is no one thing that anyone can do to transform their health. So the 9 keys of healing, according to moi, are diet, toxins, emotions, movement, community, cognition, environment, gut, and mindset. So this is a lot. And that's kind of why I'm writing a book, because I want to get this information out there passionately. We really, like, as stereotypical as it sounds, we got to give the power back to the people. Those who are newly diagnosed these days, the only thing they're being offered from the neurologists is pharmaceuticals. And I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. They're a choice. That's cool. But there is so much you can do beyond that. And doctors are not properly trained. It's about the training. They're not trained to teach us about lifestyle medicine and what we can do on our own. So that's what I hope to do here. So today's episode is going to be a little different. A lot of my episodes recently have been interviewing different people working in the healing arts, working in different therapies, physical, emotional, anybody I come across or that I've worked with who I think has something to offer the MS community. I get them on the show and we dive deep. I've got so many exciting guests lined up for the next little while, but today I'm going to go back to the personal, and I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit emotional for me, but that's really come to fruition this week. I've just had to make I've chosen to make a really big decision, and I want to tell you about it because it has a big connection to my health. So I'm calling this episode Bye Bye Benji, Hello Health. So who's Benji? Benji is a puppy, a 14-month-old miniature poodle who I lovingly and with the absolute best of intentions adopted into my life in December of last year, 2016. He's been with me almost a year now, and it's been a year. I love Benji so much. I am also, as hard as this is to say, have been suffering a lot through having Benji in my life. So I'm gonna give you the ending of the story first, and then I'm gonna let you know what the process was and how I came to this very big decision. So next week, Benji is going to be welcomed into a new home with an amazing family. And it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. And I know without a doubt it was the best decision for me, for Benji, and for everyone else involved. So let's go back. Let's talk about how this happened. So here's my confession. I've been suffering silently for almost a year. Because fact is, I had pretty much the cutest dog on earth. And I get that everybody says that, but I mean, I had the kind of dog people would like cross the park to come and see. His parents were both like show dogs, prize-winning show dogs. He had this stance, this prance, this smile that just made you want to melt. And it's why I fell in love with him in the beginning. And when people would see him out and about, you know, that's what they would see. And they would say, oh, you're so lucky. He's so gorgeous and he's so well behaved. And I would smile and nod and say, yeah, he's great. He can be a bit of a handful, but yeah, he's great. But I smiled through it and I didn't tell anyone, not even my mother, who I tell pretty much everything. I didn't tell her how hard it was. I've had animals before. I thought I knew what I was getting in for. I really had a lot of love to give and I wanted to share my life with an animal companion. I knew it was going to be a lot of work. I also hoped there would be a lot of love and compassion and cuddling and good things to balance it out. And I was ready to accept all of the responsibilities that it involved. The particular dog that I ended up with though, I guess what it comes down to is that we were a real personality mismatch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved him and I know that he loves me. But we needed very different things. I didn't want to disappoint anyone, so I didn't tell them how hard it was. I felt like a failure, so I didn't want to admit that I was having such difficulty. I thought if I just pretended everything was okay, eventually it would be. That's not a good plan, by the way. If you're ever thinking of trying that, it comes back. It never goes away. I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid if I had to consider rehoming the dog or admitting how hard things were that people would think I was a bad person or irresponsible for adopting him or immature or weak in some way. All these thoughts, you know, we all do it, right? The self-talk. We imagine that people are thinking the worst of us. So what were some of the challenges with Benji? Why was it so difficult with him? So first of all, I gotta say, my mom and sister both have dogs, and I really would have been perfect to have a dog like my sister's dog. My sister Kirsty has this dog, a little Bichon Poodle mix that was a rescue. His name's Finley. Now he is a lap dog, if there was ever a lap dog. I mean, your butt has not hit the couch before that dog is on your lap. He's like a Velcro dog. And he is nothing but pure love. I mean, he's got some issues too. He barks, whatever. But he lives for cuddles. He lives to be on your lap. And that is desperately what I wanted when I adopted this dog. I'm such a touch person. And I live alone. And I was desperate for that touch, that physical connection with a sentient being in my life, right? And I wanted what I saw with Finlay. And unfortunately, I didn't get that because I got me a dog that did not like to cuddle. I could pick him up and hold him for a little bit, and if he was sleepy, he might even put his head on my shoulder for like a minute while I was holding him. But the second I stopped rocking or tried to sit down or tried to hold him for more than like 10 seconds, he would like squirm and freak out and be like, oh my God, we're cuddling. So I didn't get me a cuddle dog. I didn't have me a lap dog. He's never sat on my lap ever. He's not a touchy person. Like we just did not have that same love language. In terms of his needs, and my needs. I mean, I'm a person who lives with multiple sclerosis, and I'm in remission. I've got a fair amount of energy. I do, as long as I keep my stress levels down, I'm a pretty active person. But man, this dog was like a cheetah. I mean, he ran faster than any dog I ever met in any park, big or small. He just was bursting with physical energy every second of every day. And he never rested. He never wanted to lie down or lap or even sit still for a moment. This dog was on the move. And I thought it was just him being a puppy when he was younger. But, as he got older and I saw the other puppies on the block, because there's a real puppy baby boom in my neighborhood, I saw all the other puppies kind of growing into themselves when they got to a year old and kind of chilling out and, walking nicely and sitting down and being calm. That never happened to my Benji. And that's just not his personality. He is just wild with energy and wants to play and be stimulated and have your constant attention. So yeah, I struggled to give that to him. Because if you've been following it all on this radio show, you'll know that I recently had to leave, chose to leave my job as a public high school teacher because I was really struggling with the high stimulation environment. I'm not shy at all, but I am introverted in that I like a lower level of stimulation. I don't multitask very well. I get cognitively overwhelmed. I don't like loud noises, flashy lights, crowded places. And that is man, if Benji could live in a nightclub on a dance floor, he would be happy. Whereas me, I just want a silent cottage, maybe some quiet piano music in the background, a cup of tea, and a good book with a doggy curled up on my lap. And he was that is not me. So as time went on, I found myself more and more fantasizing about my former life. I was really relating to a lot of friends my age. I'm 38. A lot of my friends are new parents, have young kids, and I've seen the transition. I've seen their exhaustion. I've heard them reminisce about having a former life, and I thought, wow, that is exactly what I'm going through, but my baby has teeth, and my baby is on the move. And I was feeling really trapped. I also was feeling my health suffer emotionally as well as physically, because before I got him, I was in a really good place. I had really figured out what fueled me, and I had started doing these amazing morning routines. I woke up, I did some yoga or exercise, I played my piano for a bit, I did some personal growth reading, I journaled, I did affirmations, meditation. Throughout the day I would cook these amazing meals. I just had this whole self-care routine down, and I was feeling amazing. And then I got this puppy and it was poof, every one of them gone. I think I've played my piano maybe 5 times since I got him. I've never been able to do yoga with him home unless I take him to daycare for the day. I can't read. He tries to eat the book. I can't write. He actually eats the pen. He exploded a pen just last week all over my new bedspread. I can't cook because he jumps up on the counter and knocks things over. If I put him in his crate, it goes on and on, right? It's been a challenge. So, okay, all this to say, I had this aha moment this week where I realized, get out of your own way, because this is not just about me and what's best for me. He is not a human being. He is a sentient being. He is a being. He has needs of his own. And as much as I need quiet and solitude and cuddles, this dog needs children. This dog needs children. Ever since I got him at 12 weeks old, he has gravitated towards young children. Even when he was wild and crazy with me, if a young toddler would be walking by, he would immediately just know how to behave. And he would sit perfectly still and calm and turn his cheek toward them and invite them to come over and touch him gently. I can't count the number of toddlers who had their first doggy experience with my dog for that reason, because he was like an angel with children. This dog was made to be in a family with children. And so my aha moment in the past few weeks was, this isn't about me having too much pride to admit that, quote unquote, I can't do this. This is about, I need to serve this dog. I need to help him find the family and the environment that he needs to grow and thrive. I need to get over myself. I need to get over my fears of judgment in order to really give him what he needs. I keep thinking about this example of the plane. You know, when you fly on a plane and the flight attendant tells you that when, if there's turbulence and the oxygen masks come down, you're always supposed to put your own mask on first, even before helping a child or an elderly person. Because the fact is, you can't help anybody else if you do not help yourself first. If you have no oxygen, you're just gonna die, and then you are not gonna help anybody, right? So you gotta put your own mask on first, and then when you are taken care of, you can serve others. And that's what I realized I wasn't doing with Benji. I was being too stubborn to admit that I couldn't provide what he needed. And as a result, because I wasn't helping myself with all my self-care practices, I couldn't help him. I had nothing left. And it just got worse and worse. It built up over time because the more I struggled to provide him with all this stimulation that was not in me at all, naturally, I got more and more depleted, to the point that I was going to bed at 7 o'clock just because when I turned out the lights, he would think it was bedtime and would finally lie down. And I don't even like TV. I don't even own a TV, but I find myself watching Netflix marathons because it was just, I didn't have the mental capacity to read a book anymore because I was so physically exhausted. And this wasn't good for either of us. So I started manifesting. What's manifesting, you might ask? Manifesting is a power. It's a power that I have. It's a power that you have. This is not about religion or faith. This is a law of the universe, that thoughts become things, that every single object and idea and experience out there started as a thought. Every invention began as a thought that someone took action on and became a thing, right? So thoughts become things. And when we start to put our thoughts into the universe about what we want and what we want to bring into our world, the more we focus on it and believe in it and just really put it out there, the more we, on a physical, scientific plane, energetically attract those things and those people and those opportunities and experiences into our life. And I know that I am a master manifester. I've had some amazing mentors over the past 10 years through places like the Center for Spiritual Living and some other people I've worked with, coaches, therapists, you name it. And I've learned how to really manifest the things that I need and want to see in my life and in this world. So I thought, I need to do this for both of us. I need to manifest a return to that peaceful home and that self-care regimen that I loved so much for myself. But I also need to manifest the perfect home for Benji, because he deserves to live in a home where they thrive on his energy, where he is the joy of that family's life because he is just a ball of sunshine that brings life into their world because that's what they want to. So a few months ago, enter Benji's godparents. Yep, my dog had godparents. A couple, Heather and Maurice, who live next door to me, who used to have a dog who sadly passed away and were feeling a little bit too advanced in age to take on another puppy themselves, but just missed that dog like crazy. And when I got Benji, they fell in love. And they would come outside and say hello to him every single time we went for a walk. So I started bringing him over every day and he would go and hang out with them. And then I started, letting him hang out there for an hour with them so they could have visits. And eventually it got to the point where they had a key to my place and they had just an open invite to go and take him out of his crate and hang out with him whenever they saw my car wasn't in the driveway. And it became this amazing, like a puppy co-parenting relationship where, I was able to manage a little bit better because, they would take him and give him some attention and play and stimulation for an hour or two while I was out, and then he wouldn't be quite so crazy and high need when I came home. So it was good, but it was not great. And then enter the grandkids. So my Benji's godparents, have a daughter who has some kids, and they came over and they met Benji and absolutely fell in love with him. So this has been happening over the past couple months as I've seen these kids become so attached to Benji because he's like part-time living at my neighbor's place at this point. Benji loves it. He loves the kids. The kids love him. The mom loves that the kids love him. Heather and Maurice, my neighbors, love seeing the family with the puppy. And then one day, after really putting it out there in the universe and trying to find this perfect home for him, I heard that this family loved Benji so much that they decided to start looking for a dog for the kids. And I wanted to cry because I was so happy because I started to get an idea. And eventually it manifested this week when I finally had the courage to ask them, to say that I love Benji with all of my heart, and he has brought in some ways so much joy to my life, but that this is not the best relationship for either of us. And I see how perfect he is for their family. And would they be interested in adopting him? And I put that out there, and I had no idea what response I was going to get. And let me tell you, during this time of trying to make this decision, whether I should ask, I mean, my health was a mess. I was emotionally a mess. I couldn't sleep. I was having like spastic muscles. I was having some neuropathic pain. I was like really, not relapsing, but I was having these stress-induced symptoms. And as soon as I put that question out there, I started to feel a bit of relief. And then just 2 days ago, they wrote me back and said they were absolutely, I'm going to cry just thinking about this. They said they're absolutely thrilled beyond belief, and they would like nothing better than to welcome Benji into their family. And I read that and I just burst into tears. And at first I thought it was pain that I was going to miss Benji so much, but then I realized it was gratitude and relief that, I had put this thought into action, and I had drawn this experience into my life, into Benji's life, and I had taken the action, because it's not just about thinking and then sitting there and doing nothing. It's about thinking, imagining what's needed for everyone, and then finding the opportunity and taking the step to make it reality. And because I asked for what I needed and I asked for what Benji needed, this is happening now. Next week, Benji is moving to his new home, and I feel so completely full of gratitude for this transition, because it's exactly what I need. It's exactly what Benji needs, and it's exactly what this family needs. And it couldn't be more perfect, because Benji will still come visit my neighbors, and I can check in and say hi, and it's going to be perfect. So the result of finally being brave enough to admit that I wasn't coping, that I needed help, admitting that I needed help, that's what it was, and admitting that there was a better solution. I have slept so well the past few days. My muscles have just released any tension they were holding. Any neuropathic pain that I've been experiencing for the past few months has disappeared. I just feel my future opening up, because I know that I can rest assured Benji is going to have everything that he needs. And because of that, I can focus on what I know is my primary purpose in this life, which I have discovered, which is Chronically Well Club, which is using my gifts as an educator, as a teacher, as a health coach, as a person who's experienced managing and thriving despite this illness for 20 years. I'm using these skills to serve my community, which is what I love, love, love to do. Is to help, to inspire, to help people to find their own power to heal. This is what I know I am meant to do in this life. And this big decision that I've made this week is good for me, good for Benji, good for that family. But I hope it's also going to be good for you as well, my listeners, because now I can really invest so much more in catching up on everything I've fallen behind on. I have like 2 months worth of videos that I haven't posted to YouTube. I've been totally neglecting my social media posts, and so many things I want to share that I haven't done. So if you're following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you're going to see a whole bunch of posts from the past 2 months that are going to all of a sudden show up, and feel free to browse through them on your own time, if and when the fancy takes you. But I really want to get caught up and put that stuff out there and make sure that this passion project of mine is really what I'm devoting my life and my energy towards. So I've started really putting effort into lining up some amazing interviews for this radio show for the next 2 months. You're gonna have to follow to see who they are, but we've got some healers, some therapists, some psychologists, some incredible entrepreneurs, some amazing inspirational speakers. I've got an awesome lineup coming for you, so stay tuned for that. So I'm going to wrap that up and say, sorry, I was swallowing a tear there, and say bye-bye, Benji, for both of us, and hello to my health and your health. So if you've enjoyed this rambling episode, I hope you'll continue following me on Chronically Well Club Radio through MS&Me, Radio and Media. Please check out my main website. It is chronicallywell.club, and on that website you can find links to my Facebook video blog, my Instagram posts, my YouTube channel where I post all of my videos. Also, there's a radio link for this show, all the archived episodes. You can find that on my webpage as well. So a couple other things that I'm doing. I do work as a one-on-one health coach with people from anywhere in the world who are newly diagnosed or well into their diagnosis with multiple sclerosis. And I help them to go through my 9 keys of healing and really discover their power to heal and recreate their lives. So if you're ready to step up and really take responsibility for your health and just become awesome, because you are anyway, be in touch. My email address is rebecca@chronicallywell.club. A couple tools that I use regularly with my clients along with my coaching is I do a lot of work with essential oils. So I teach monthly workshops at a place called the Center for Spiritual Living here in Toronto. Feel free to contact me at rebecca@chronicallywell.club if you'd like to attend one of those events. And I teach about reducing toxic exposure and really using not just any essential oil, but very, very high quality therapeutic grade essential oils to enhance your wellness and manage many of the symptoms of MS. I'm actually planning to start doing this online because I know a lot of my listeners, a lot of you don't live in the Greater Toronto area. So stay tuned. I'm planning a webinar series. There'll be small classes where you can join live online, and it'll be a talk specifically on essential oils for multiple sclerosis specifically. So I'm really excited about that up and coming. I also share with my clients something called Vox Life wearable neurotechnology. This is something amazing that I've discovered. They come in the form of socks and insoles, but these are not just socks and insoles. Those are just the vehicles for the technology. So it's an amazing superficial, tactile stimulation device that works on your peripheral nervous system and your brainstem and has amazing clinically proven double-blind placebo trial results in terms of improving balance, energy output, stability, strength, velocity, range of motion, you name it. 8 times fall reduction with people over 50, and the potential for helping people with MS is just amazing. And every time I share it with a new client or person I meet, I'm just blown away. So again, if you're interested in that, you can check out Vox Life, VOXXLIFE.com/Chronically Well Club, or again, just send me an email and I'd love to get you connected with how to get some of them for yourselves. So I hope to hear from some of you. I legitimately, sincerely love to hear from my listeners. So drop me a line. Let's get into a dialogue. And for now, create an amazing day for yourselves. I have done today, created an amazing day for myself, and I'm really, really happy. I hope you will too. Be well.